Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be able to join your president and the leadership team at the university for the Foundations of Excellence project, and extending to you my appreciation for your willingness to be present today and to hopefully become more engaged in this mutual project of ours. I'm John Gardner, and I'm one of the co-founders, along with my wife, Dr. Betsy Barefoot, of a nonprofit organization that's immodestly named for me. We are based in Brevard, North Carolina, and we have been operating for just 14 years this month, as a matter of fact. But we have a team made up of other senior institutional leaders, people like myself. I retired from the University of South Carolina at the rank of distinguished professor, and also I'm a recovering former vice chancellor for academic affairs. And I have other senior colleagues in my organization and other people who are experts on technology and surveying and all the things that we include in our work with you. I want you to know that I'm part of a team, but I'm going to be doing a disproportionate amount of the work with you, and I'm going to be available on a 24/7 basis for anything that any of you involved in this project may wish to seek my counsel. We're engaging you in something called Foundations of Excellence. You have chosen voluntarily to do this process. We certainly couldn't make you. We're not an accreditor, we're not a funder, we're not a governing body of any kind. We're a nonprofit organization who's provided this same process, Foundations of Excellence, for the first college year. We have provided this process for a total of 256 other post-secondary institutions in both the United States and 5 other parts of the world. I'll be more specific about those in a minute. We work with 2-year institutions and 4-year institutions in this process. We've worked with 110 community colleges and 146 4-year institutions. Of the 4-year institutions, 40-some of them have been private universities, such as yourself, although you are certainly the largest private, not-for-profit institution we've worked with in Foundations of Excellence. We've worked with 5 institutions outside the continental United States, in Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and this year we're pleased to say that we're working with the National University, a very influential Middle Eastern nation, the nation of Qatar, in the National University of Qatar. And they're doing the same process you're doing, because like you, they have first-year students that they want to be successful. So what is this thing called Foundations of Excellence anyway? Why are you gathered here? Well, Foundations of Excellence, and I'm going to try and say this succinctly, this is a voluntary process. It's a self-study, the 2 most dreaded words in the higher education lexicon. But because it's voluntary, it's low stakes, and there's nothing to be anxious or uncomfortable about with respect. It's not an accreditor related, although you could connect this to reaffirmation either with a regional accreditation or a discipline-based accreditation. A number of FOE has been used in a number of the SACS QEP projects. Foundations of Excellence is an analysis process where you're going to look at everything your really unique and most interesting university does for your new students. You're going to put everything on the table that you do for new students, and you're going to evaluate your current performance using 9 standards of excellence. And you're going to begin using those standards of excellence this afternoon. Each of you are going to be in a group, and you're going to get a taste of 1 of 9 standards of excellence. But in the project, you're going to use all 9 standards. You're going to evaluate how well you're working now in terms of achieving these standards of excellence, and you're going to produce a set of recommendations that are designed to further increase the probability that you'll be implementing a beginning university experience at the highest levels of excellence in accordance with these standards. This is to say then that this process is about 2 things. It's about doing a self-study that produces a plan, an aspirational plan for excellence, and it's about executing that plan. So 2 big ideas here. That one is something you don't have now. You don't have a grand design, a big plan that looks at everything you're trying to do for new students to improve their success. And you've got to implement that plan. And we're going to help you produce the plan. It's going to be your plan. You're going to craft it. But we're going to teach you and guide you and lead you through this process to create this plan. and then we're going to help you implement this. Now, what do these plans lead to, the execution of them, in the other institutions we work with? Well, what we found is an especially tight correlation with institutions that implement the plans we develop with and for them, that they execute these to a high level of degree, and it's those high implementers that are achieving the greatest gains. And gains of a number of kinds, but in particular, gains in institutional retention. We've had this research on our work done by external researchers who, when they ran the numbers the first time back in 2010, actually didn't believe what they found with respect to our work with private institutions. It's really stunning. What we found is that for private colleges and universities that implement the Foundations of Excellence Action Plan to a high degree, their retention rates have increased in the aggregate about 11.8 points on a 100-point scale, which represents about a 17, almost, it's just over a 17% increase in retention in the aggregate over the baseline. So if you go through a thorough, really committed self-study process and you implement that to a high degree, we're very confident you're going to increase your institution's retention rates. What else does this project do? It increases your institutional capacity for assessment. It's something that could be connected with accreditation if you wanted to. It's designed to significantly increase the role of your faculty in the shaping of the first year experience for students. It's designed to enhance academic affairs, student affairs, and faculty partnerships. It's designed to grow your first year enrollment, to help you develop a more unique first year, to become ultimately much better known for your first year. Right now, because of your unique institutional history, you're extremely well known as an innovative provider of graduate programs, not only in your state, but beyond that. And it's this reputation, this signature reputation for an undergraduate program, the foundation of which we're focusing on. A very common outcome of this process are changes in organizational structures, because organizational structures are one of the areas that universities have the greatest control over. Universities that go through this often change a number of their policies and regulations for new students, because that's a way to change what new students do. So there are a lot of potential outcomes for this process, but all of these are up to you. I don't determine any of them. Now, I did want to say just very quickly that I think your institution, from what I know about it, and I don't know it nearly as well as you do, is at a critical crossroads. You have recently made a decision of profound significance, I believe, potentially, and that's to create a new organizational structure, to create a kind of portal of entry, a home for your new students, your College of Undergraduate Studies. And one of the things this process is designed to do is to direct these 9 standards of excellence towards the design of this College of Undergraduate Studies, and especially its initial inauguration and launch. So this self-study will interconnect and make extricable the creating of a new vision for the first year's foundational experiences in the first year with the implementation of this new collegiate structure. I've worked with a lot of universities that have created new organizational structures for first-year students, and I feel really comfortable and confident about doing this. Just a concluding word about my role. I was asked to share with you what my role will be. My role is what we call an institute. That's for the Gardner Institute. I'm an institute advisor to your institution. I'm going to be your primary contact. I'm going to be an advocate, a friendly critic. I'm going to be one who encourages you and exhorts you and provides you with a lot of information and ideas, and 11 rounds of written feedback in this process, because there are 11 steps to it. And in a literal sense, I will be coming back later this afternoon to address questions, hear some of your reactions, share my responses to those, which surely you will have by the end of the afternoon. So at this point, I will conclude my remarks and thank you in advance for the way I know we're all going to work together. And I'm really confident that I'm going to be able to help you get the most out of this planning process. And I look forward to working with many of you.